Hey friends, my name is Jackson and welcome back to my channel. I do not sound okay. Here we go. Hmm. So last Saturday, not just the Saturday that passed, that was 2 days ago, but the Saturday before that, I was at the pet store and I got to snuggle with the little ratty, and I got some pictures, so I'm gonna share them. I can share them with you guys later, if you want. So I will definitely be doing that on my community page, so you guys can see that there. I also went to the reptile store today and cuddled a rat there, but I didn't get any pictures. But the rat that I cuddled with 2 weeks ago well, not 2 weeks ago, but over a week ago, has actually found a home with another one of his brothers. So he's gone now. He found a home. So that's a really nice idea. That's a really nice thing to know. Yeah, the lady who was there today said I can let me cuddle with the rat, and then and I mentioned there was also a mom who had some little tiny babies. They were like little tiny jelly bean babies. They were like pink. They didn't have any fur yet, and they were just really adorable. I didn't get any pictures that I probably should have. My mom took some pictures of it though, so I'll be showing that as well again on the community page. So if you guys want to see that, that's where that's going to be. I'll try and upload that stuff tonight, but if not tomorrow, then. And I remember having senior ratties was amazing. Mm. I remember having senior ratties was amazing. You guys remember me telling you about Mocha and Nibbles that I had before that were so sweet, and they only lived for like a few months, but it was really nice to have them. Actually, I'm pretty sure they died during the summer, so I actually had them I had them in the house from like February until the summer, and um I was like actually paying for them to be kept at the pet store. Like I paid for them, and then I paid for like a babysitting thing. I paid like hundreds upon hundreds of dollars for them to be kept at the pet store for several months. Like until I could get them home, because I was looking for an apartment. I figured I was gonna have an apartment by then, but then I didn't, so like I can't. Oh. Mm. And then I was gonna upgrade their cage when I got to the new place, but I ended up selling them to another lady who was also really nice because I have some allergies. They're not like really serious or anything. Like my nose just gets a lot stuffed up. So, but like I would look at ideas for that, or also like just deal with it, because dealing with my nose being a little stuffed up is like the least of my concerns. And honestly, I'd do it if to have pet rats again, and just thinking about like the bigger rats waiting there and wanting to like, and some of them are going to be food for the reptiles, which, it's just what happens. Snakes have to eat, other reptiles have to eat, and you can't really just, like, what are you gonna do, starve them? Like I talked about in the last video, how there was a story about how the vegan girlfriend wanted um her boyfriend to give up his cat, and then he wouldn't, because like what's the cat gonna do, just move on to another home where she doesn't eat meat? Anyway, I keep thinking about like getting more rats. Oh my gosh. Mm. Anyway, so I keep thinking about like I have that space in that corner over there, like I have that entire wall. Um, so I think I'm gonna just move forward with getting the coffee table, and then figure out what I'm gonna put in that corner, because it might be a rat cage, it might be a snake tank, I don't know. I feel like last time, because the choice was between, I was either gonna buy Mocha and Nibbles, or I was gonna buy a bearded dragon who was also there too, and I decided to wait one more week and see which was there when I went back, and flip a coin if it was both of them. But the bearded dragon was gone when I went back the next week, and then Mocha and Nibbles were there, so that's why I decided to pick Mocha and Nibbles. But I'm just thinking, because last time I chose the rats, so maybe this time I should choose the snake, but then that means I'm gonna have to move into subsidized housing to get rats. But if I got the rats, and it's kind of depressing to say, but they don't live very long, and if and I wanted to get the bigger ratties, like the older ones, and then like give them a good home for a few months until they eventually pass on. Like I just think they should have a super chill retirement with someone who loves them, like before they have to, move on to the next thing. But um I would like I would have the only reason I would get rats and a snake in the same house is if I had a door, because that's how they keep them at the reptile store. They have a door so that the rats can't smell the snakes, and the snakes can still kind of smell the rats, but like the rats can't smell the snakes, and that way feels better. And one of the ladies who works at the reptile store also said that she has rats and snakes. She just keeps them in different rooms. But, I don't have a door, obviously, and I can't exactly just keep rats in the bathroom, even though that would be really cute. You just go into the bathroom and you see the rats. Anyways, but like my point is, so anyways, I gotta figure out what I want to do with that corner, because maybe I could just get the rats and then when they pass on in a few months, I could get a snake. But like I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do because I'm not getting pets till next summer anyway. And this does feel extremely similar. Like I'm having a lot of deja vu when it came down to the bearded dragon versus Mocha and Nibbles. I don't know. Maybe this time I should choose the reptile. I feel like I I don't know. I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get the coffee table first. I'm going with Erica to get the coffee table to go to IKEA. And then I'm gonna figure it out then. So I will figure it out then. And I think I'm gonna start doing Reddit stories on my phone because anyway, I think I'm gonna just oops, sorry. I don't know what's happening. Okay, I think I'm gonna just like I think I'm gonna just do this on my phone because it's a lot easier to scroll through the stories because I actually have control with my thumb, whereas I have to like click down on the thing and then like drag it, and because there's no like arrow, there's no bottom arrow, if that makes any sense. But anyway, I think I'm gonna just do it this way because it's just easier this way. So I'm gonna like figure it out. Alright. I'm just getting things set up on my phone, so give me a second. Hang on a second, I'm just gonna pause this. Alright, I'm back. I just needed to deal with something real quick on Reddit, and by deal with something, I mean reply to someone's adorable post about their millipedes. Anyway, I'm gonna try and find out where my saved stuff is. Oh, there it is. Okay. Alright, let's read some best of Reddit updates. OOP's boyfriend is creeping her out. Originally posted to r/autism and r/abusive relationships. Okay. My autistic boyfriend is creeping me out, and this was originally posted July 9th, 2023. This is mostly event post. Me and my new boyfriend are both autistic and have started seeing each other about 4 months ago. Both of us have never been in a relationship before. He has started to give me the creeps lately. He found a picture on me of me on social media from when I used to be goth, and has been pressuring me constantly to dye my hair blue again like in the picture. He screenshotted all my pictures and showed me he did that, yet won't follow me on any social media, yet he keeps tabs on me. He also wants me to get tattoos and dress like that again. He got me to bring all my old goth clothes to his apartment, and they're in different places every time I come over, which tells me he's obviously doing something with them. He snoops through my stuff in general. He shows me offensive, over-sexualized pictures of tattooed/alternative women e-girls and OnlyFans creators with tattoos in public, asking me what I think of their look and if I'd change myself to look like them. He has some kinks and religious trauma, which I am non-judgmental towards, but he is always trying to do BDSM and butt stuff with me, but thinks I'd be into that because I used to be goth. So BDSM is bondage, discipline, dominance and submission, and sadism and masochism, in case you guys don't know. And yes, I know that. He gets me to show him my old goth pictures and has tried to trick me into syncing my Google photos onto his computer so he can access my pictures. I would never give him any pictures because I've already caught him taking pictures of me without my consent and sending them to multiple people, his family and friends. He also tries to track my location and internet usage and get money from me, but never directly talks to me about anything, yet he is always trying to trick me. He used to love bomb me, but now he treats me like garbage. He's narcissistic, entitled, and overall disrespectful. I've told him that I don't want tattoos and won't dye my hair and that goth is a music subculture, not a kink, and he never listens. He shames my body, my finances, my clothes, where I live, and the list goes on. He doesn't listen to me in general, and I feel like an object. He never wants to do any fun activities with me, and I'm always compromising with him. I'm always compromising for him. He's very straight-laced and wants to go to places like goth clubs and nude beaches just to stare at women. Lately, he's been trying to control and shame me for what I eat, and also body shame me for being fat and hairy. I am 5'8", 120 pounds. I am on the skinny side. He wants me to bodybuild but also not eat anything. It doesn't make sense. He points out other women exercising and takes a little dig at me. He wants me to spend thousands of dollars on my appearance, yet he has terrible hygiene and won't even comb his hair and brush his teeth for me. He likes parading me around like a show pony while he looks practically homeless. It's humiliating. He is classist and calls me poor for being upper middle class and inflates how wealthy he and his family are, yet never pays. His brother shamed me when I met him, made me feel awful. We have problems in our sex life as well. He has a hard time ejaculating and checks out other women all the time. He acts 12. He is 27. I feel controlled, devalued, criticized, unheard, and taken for granted. He is full of shame, and I can't get him to have an adult conversation about any of these issues. I tried to end it twice, and he starts sobbing and telling me how much he needs me, loves me, cares about me, thinks I'm brilliant, etc., practically begging me to stay. I feel used and manipulated. He's an awful, reprehensible person. And then the update is a day later, so July 10th. Update. I wanted to thank everyone who read my story and commented. Thank you for all of your kind and supportive words. I went ahead and left him. So I went to his apartment yesterday and told him in the most adult, respectful way I could possibly manage that I cannot be in a relationship with him. I told him I wasn't being respected and that he was crossing my boundaries, that he was trying to change me, pick on me, and was generally cruel to me. I pretty much told him everything he was doing wrong, except for the control tracking exploitation stuff, because I didn't want to get into that for the sake of my safety, and by the end of our 2.5 hour conversation, I was heading into shutdown territory, so I had to leave. I'm pretty sure he filmed the interaction. He has a camera in his room, and I thought I saw it turn on. Really nothing to see other than me gently informing him I will not tolerate such disrespect, and that I thought he was trying to change me and didn't desire me, etc. He denied all negative allegations and cried the entire time, and was trying to guilt me into staying as expected. Of course, he still thought I was useful to him. To his credit, he didn't get angry. I am still concerned for my safety and privacy. I am worried he will dox me or commit some kind of cybercrime. Highly unlikely, as he works for the government and his father, whom he is afraid of, controls him/ pays his rent. Additionally, worth noting, his family name is already stained with sociopathy, and there are mainstream news articles covering the crime, so it is highly unlikely he will do anything to me if he wants to get anywhere in life, especially because he wants to seek further education and advance his career. When I broke up with him, I could see clearly that he has severe communication deficits. I believe that is I believe this is caused by a combination of the double empathy problem, distractibility, and focus issues from ADHD, as well as strong narcissistic traits. Strong narcissistic traits. I don't think he understood half of what I was saying or the impact of his actions. He apologized profusely and told me he wanted to work on our issues together and that he doesn't want to break up. He then performed a bunch of future faking and false promises to sell me on staying. I refused. I told him I crossed a line and that there was no going back, especially after body shaming. I explained to him that by body shaming someone, it will make them self-conscious and uncomfortable, and therefore not want to have sex with someone. That got his attention, lol. I expect he had a porn addiction, that he consumed a lot of goth porn, alternative girl porn, and got the wrong idea about me because I fall into some porn stereotypes targeting nerdy men. Think Belle Delphine type stuff. I like Japanese culture and used to be very goth. Maybe he thought I was one of those porn content creators who had a target audience of lonely nerdy men. He was also obsessed with the idea of me playing video games and was always trying to get me to start playing them. I know some people confuse fantasy with reality and was suspicious of that happening within our relationship. Towards the end of our time together, he was focusing solely on my image as well as his, and we no longer discussed anything intellectual as we did when we first began seeing each other. Our relationship had dissipated into something vapid and meaningless. This was not what I had signed up for. Upon further reflection, I think he really did confuse fantasy for reality and got the wrong idea about me completely because he never listened to me when I tried to tell him what goth is about and that people have gotten that wrong in the past by assuming I was an info into kink due to my external appearance. Absolutely no shame in being into kink, it just is not for me right now. We were both virgins and I was not ready to go there yet. He always blocked out things he didn't want to hear or didn't align with the fantasy. It was startling how very little he knew about me. He told me, "That doesn't sound like you," when I stood up for myself. He asked, "Did you hear that somewhere?" when I told him we were having too many issues very early in the relationship and it just wasn't going to work. It's as if he didn't think I was capable of thinking for myself and had actual thoughts, or I wasn't going to script, which is a narcissist tendency. Yet sometimes he respected my opinion, especially regarding topics of psychology and sociology. To be honest, I thought he was some fantasy person who wanted me to solve all of his problems and fix his life, and became disenchanted when I was unable to instantly do that. He didn't know really anything about me and didn't take the time to learn about me and had some kind of fantasy version of me that existed in his head. He was more in love with the idea of having a girlfriend than me as a person. He thought the person in his head was the real me and that he was trying to help me. I do hope he seeks therapy. I wonder if he had a delusional disorder. He also had this idea that because we were both autistic, that we must think exactly the same. It doesn't work that way. We all are different colors of the spectrum, and my experience differs vastly from his due to subjective experience of life, factors like gender and upbringing, etc., etc. I feel so stupid for allowing this to go on as long as it did. I am proud of myself for resisting the pressure he put on me to move in with him, give him money and change my appearance, do uncomfortable sex acts, etc. It was a fairly easy exit and civil, but I still feel depressed, mourning what could have been, perhaps. This is my first breakup and his, so I'm feeling all kinds of new and uncomfortable emotions and bodily sensations. I have alexithymia. What? So this is all very depressing and strange. I am happy with my decision and will not be looking back. I am fairly comfortable with being alone and will not be seeking a new relationship anytime soon and will perhaps enter therapy to build my self-esteem. Writing out my situation and receiving feedback has allowed me to better understand a very complicated situation, and I thank all the lovely, supportive people who commented on my post. Your time and kindness means so much to me. I'm gonna look up that thing that she said. Alexithymia or something. Okay. Okay, alexithymia is a broad term to describe problems with feeling emotions. Okay. And apparently 1 in 10 people have it. Allegedly. And then there's another update, August 5th, 2023. Should I delete the shared photo album me and my ex have together? Me and my abusive ex have a shared photo album that we made when we went on our first trip together. It was both of our first relationships and our first time having sex together. We lost our virginities to each other. Overall, it was a lovely memory, and I fell for him deeply on this trip. Unfortunately, the memory became tainted after he turned into a complete monster and shattered my heart into a million pieces. He's a very dangerous individual, high in dark triad traits, and I know it'd be foolish to keep him tied to me in any way, shape, or form. For some reason, I still don't know if I should delete the album. I broke up with him 6 weeks ago and have him blocked and deleted his fake spy accounts too, on all platforms except Google, and deleting the album and blocking him on Google would be the last thing to do in order to completely scrub him from the surface of my existence. Despite the vile person he revealed himself to be, I am sentimental and romantic and hanging on to the positive aspects of our time together and everything I learned about myself. What should I do? Delete the album. You should delete the album. And then she commented on a different post 1 month later from the post. The post is called, "What differences have you noticed in your body appearance, good or bad?" And her comment says, NC for almost 3 months. NC is no contact. I don't know if it's due to my auto perception when I was seeing him. The constant put downs did a number on my self image, but I am like a different person now, inside and out. My skin conditions, acne and dermatitis, have cleared up completely. My hair looks thicker and has a nice sheen to it. My face is less gaunt and has a vibrancy to it that wasn't there before. Teeth are whiter from less coffee. I could barely sleep when I was with him, so I over-caffeinated. I'm the same weight, but my fitness has improved. My chronic muscle pain and headaches went away. These people are parasites that suck the life out of their hosts. No longer a shriveled up shell of myself. There's nowhere to go but up once you leave them and go no contact. So glad she got free. It sounds like one of those situations that was only going to escalate badly if she stayed. The boiling frog. What does that mean? Good on OOP for escaping that slime ball. It's a wonder she even ended up with him in the first place. Okay. Hello? My camera froze. Hello? Okay, that was weird. Hopefully that doesn't affect the video. Ugh. Good on OOP for escaping that slime ball. It's a wonder she even ended up with him in the first place. From experience, she probably gave the nice guy a chance. Guys who claim that their sexist and misogynistic ideas about women all stem from being unsuccessful with dating do not change if a woman gives them a chance and dates them. Instead, it starts manifesting in different ways, like this. Being pressured into giving the nice guy a chance got me trapped in an abusive marriage. I was lucky enough to escape. Nobody owes anybody else a chance. Being nice should be the bare minimum, not some big thing deserving of a girlfriend as a reward. I literally ended up with my abusive ex because I thought to myself, he seems boring and nice, that sounds safe. Did we marry the same guy? The first Christmas I was with my ex, I saw him wearing a sweater and glasses and thought, wow, he's so boring and normal. The kind of guy who has dorky glasses and wears sweaters like that is surely a safe choice. Nope. Turns out that 10 years later, after years of emotional abuse, I'd end up fleeing the state when he assaulted me. Jeez. Okay, and by the way, this person's flair says there is only Ogtha. So if you remember, Ogtha is the giant cockroach that the guy fantasized about. I read that story, didn't I? Yeah, I read that story. I think I read that story. Anyway, I'll be right back. It's literally 7 o'clock and it's pitch dark outside. That should not be the case. Alright, I'm back. I just took a little break because I needed it anyway, so. Give me a sec to get my Facebook. Uh, Reddit going again. Not Facebook, Reddit. Boyfriend of 10 years broke up with me over a game, and this was originally posted to r/RPG horror stories. Trigger warning, controlling behavior. Original post, October 21st, 2022. So, a year ago. First off, I apologize for my bad spelling and lack of formatting as I'm on mobile. Okay, here it goes. I was nervous about posting this, but screw it. So this totally isn't D&D related, and I use dice in my Conan server, but I use dice in my Conan server, so yeah. Anyway, I run a Conan roleplay server for my friends and I, and it's been going pretty well so far. For a long time, every time I've tried to run a roleplay server, it has always gone wrong in some way, somehow someone has had an issue. This time, though, things are different. This time, everyone has been having a good time and getting along, and here's how it started. So back when we were still dating, aka a few weeks ago, I would tell my boyfriend everything. We had lots in common and generally enjoyed each other's company. With or without the rest of the friend group as a couple should. For some context, it was a long distance relationship, and I know what you're going to say. Those kinds of relationships never work out. Well, we made it work. We made it work for a long time. In fact, for about 10 years almost. You see, I'm disabled, so the fact that a guy could love someone like me, knowing all the BS I've had to deal with and still deal with, was a godsend. We met through a video game. Cringe, I know, but it's not like I can just go out and meet people. Anyways, I would tell him everything, and so would he. We even fell asleep in party chats a few times. Fast forward to a few weeks ago, and I started telling him about my roleplay server. I figured since he liked hearing about my D&D sessions, that this would be no different. Boy, was I wrong. So I start telling him about the stuff that had been going on in game. At first, he wasn't interested in joining my roleplay server, but even thought another one of our friends wanted him to, even though another one of our friends wanted him to. The way I run the server is that people would be given the password once they make a character sheet, and that's where his becomes a horror story. Remember when I said he wasn't interested in joining? Well, every so often my friend would ask if my boyfriend was going to join, and I would say no, probably not, until one evening when he decided that yes, he was going to join. I got excited and started telling him more about what's been happening in game. I then told him about people's characters and stuff like that, but then it occurred to me and I asked, "Oh wait, do you have the DLC map?" I should have told him beforehand as it likely would have saved me some trouble, but it completely slipped my mind since we tend to game share. However, had I known what trouble this would cause, I would have done this different if I could have. He then proceeded to get upset at me for saying he didn't have the DLC and that he didn't care for it and thought we were playing on the original map. He also said that I wasted his time because he apparently spent half a day working on his character sheet, but it was pointless now, even though all he had to do was get it off me. But no, he threw a tantrum saying that you never told me anything beforehand, just told me to join. Newsflash, nobody was really told anything, because it's all self explanatory on the Discord, so all he had to do was make his character. It also didn't help that I told him that my character had a child with a friend's character. I asked him if he had a problem with it, and he said no and asked how. It was pretty much the characters got drunk and practiced diplomacy, but it wasn't ERP or anything like that, just fade to black and a bad dice roll. Now me and my boyfriend and this friend in game all know each other, and he's married, so I wasn't doing this to cheat on my boyfriend. We just thought of it as stupid fun, but my boyfriend, however, did not. This incident has taught me to never take what someone says at face value ever again, because even though he said it didn't bother him, it actually did bother him when we talked days later. By that time, though, he was already thrown in the towel that was our relationship. It was devastating and had me in tears for many nights after. When we did talk it out, however, and I found out his issues, I guess I can understand from his point of view, but if he had just told me it bothers him, I could have changed things. I asked him what now, because we still do care for each other, and he said, it's your choice. Clearly it's not, because you already made your choice by breaking up with me instead of talking it out, but okay. I told him I didn't want it to be my choice. I wanted the feeling to be mutual, and said maybe it's best if we go on our own separate arcs, so to speak. For some extra context, remember I said we were together for 10 years? In this time frame, we had already broken up 3 times before this. No, we hadn't seen each other in person face to face, which should have been a red flag now. Thinking about it, I told him that the third time was his last chance, and he's done well up until this point, which is disappointing and sad. Too long didn't read. My boyfriend breaks off a 10-year relationship because he couldn't handle my character having a child with another character that isn't his. Update November 8th, 2022. So I thought I would give a small update on my last post. I did unfortunately hang out with my now ex-boyfriend in a party chat alone and fell asleep talking to him. When I woke up though I was sad because I felt like I had slept in a bed that I didn't belong in anymore. Temporary lapse of judgment on my part. But that solidified how I felt about him now. I laid there and thought, I don't want this. I don't want to feel like this anymore. And even though I still cry at night sometimes, for the most part I'm okay, and I'm trying to move on. My ex, however, has tried some interesting BS, though. We would be playing a game and I'd call out to him because he was being stupid or not paying attention, and he would reply with babe, to which I would reply with, no. Once he even asked, how long am I on the couch for? And I said, you broke up with me, there is no couch. So yeah, I'm not leaving him get to me. I can deal with him in parties because he's still part of the friend group. But I've begun to tune him out when he acts flirty. I'm moving on. It's going to be difficult, but I can do this. P.S. Thank you for all your kind words and thoughts on my situation. It's helpful more than you know. And yeah, this is a repost of not the OOP. Obviously, we already knew that, so just like, okay. If you told me OOP and her boyfriend was 16 years old, I'd believe you. Yeah, makes me wonder what they were doing during those 10 years of dating. Ugh. Broken up 3 times. You'd think they'd take the hint after the third time, and yet never actually met in person. That's not a relationship. That's having a pen pal. I understand someone who has a serious disability craving that emotional connection with someone that they'd be unable to get any other way, but to consider it a relationship when they've never met is just wild to me. Alright. I'm betting they were 14 to 16 when they met. Early 20s today. I spend a lot of time in online spaces, and these kind of emotion support-based couples aren't unusual. If OP is homebound, that could explain the lack of refined language. When your main source of communication is online spaces and streams, you end up starting to sound like them. I also would believe that they're 16 making up a story for Reddit, though. Power to them for their shiny spine, at least. Okay. I looked at OP's comments and they were apparently 33 when making these posts. I think you'd be surprised by the immaturity of those older folks that sit on MMOs all day long and never leave their homes. I get for OP it's seemingly not a choice, but still, I was a teenager playing an MMO. FFXIV. I don't know what the hell that means. And had grown ass adults follow me 24/7, harass me, throw a fit my guild, stole members from theirs. Dude was a massive racist and just unpleasant to be around, so some of his members left and joined the guild I ran. And so on. I met my current partner on video games as well. He was barely 20, I was late teens, but we met up within the first few months. It's been 5 years and we own a home together and 2 dogs and definitely do not behave like this. We also don't play FXXIV anymore. LOL. This lines up with my experience with online role players in general. Yeah. Alright. So this is an ongoing post, but I'm gonna read it anyway. Um, My dad is pretending I'm not getting married, and the trigger warnings for this are infidelity, controlling behavior, emotional abuse, child neglect, and behavioral manipulation. This is going to be a 3 hour video, by the way, or probably I'd like to do more than 3 hours, so I might have to stop tonight and then record the rest of it tomorrow. Like, I might have to record a few posts tomorrow. I already had to take a break and then come back later, so, I'll do a few posts tomorrow if I have to read a few posts tomorrow. But I want it to be at least 3 hours, so Let's go. Original post, March 8th, 2023. So my dad has always been a very show-off person. Announcements about grades, telling everyone how great his daughters are doing, telling off my sister for having a job that he can't show off. When he divorced from my mom, he was a good parent for a while, and then he met Eva. Eva is way younger, has had a lot of work done, and used to send him flirty messages when he was still married. They got married very early on in the relationship because they've known each other ages. She told him not to text us too much because we are adults. She checks his phone all the time. She forbade him from seeing us Christmas Day or St. Stephen's Day because he needed to be with his new family, and it would have been disrespectful to her for him to see his ex-wife, and she's overall been an absolute nightmare. And he follows everything she tells him to do. Now I'm getting married and told my dad he's invited, but she's not. I met the woman once and I don't like her. Plus, I know my father isn't a great person, and he'd be making jabs at my mom about being older than Eva, etc. To make it fair, my mom's boyfriend is also not invited, although he's a sweetheart. My dad's answer to my invite has been to pretend nothing is happening. I sent him a save the date, and he sent me a thumbs up emoji. He hasn't asked me one question about the wedding, not even the venue, even though he told me shortly before meeting Eva that he was looking forward to me and my sister getting married and how excited he was. Myself and my fiance are different religions and cultures, so everyone's had lots of questions about how we are handling that. Turns out he hasn't told Eva I'm getting married, and he hasn't told anyone else, so he is just planning to say he has a work trip and come to the wedding. I don't actually think he's going to show up. I think he will say he is going to, but then not show up at the last minute. But my sister thinks he'll show up with her and make a whole scene because he told her Eva has just as much right to be there as your mom. Anyone else dealt with something similar? Do I need a backup to walk me down the aisle? And then the relevant comments. So someone said, I just want to point out that your dad is in an abusive relationship. His new wife is cutting him off from his family, his support system, so she can have more control over him. He probably won't be allowed to go to the wedding because she's not invited, and probably wouldn't have been allowed to even if she was. Your dad is an asshole on his own, but I think it's important to recognize that he's still capable of being abused and that it's happening. And OOP says, yes, they both suck. He has always been a cheater, at least three other women during the span of 10 years that we have evidence of, and I think, no evidence, he was cheating on my mom with her, so that's why she's constantly monitoring his phone and not allowing him to leave the house. We told him not to marry her and that her behavior is very concerning, but he seems very blind. And then someone else says, it sounds like he wants to come and he knows the only way him coming without his wife is possible is if he lies about it. He's risking getting caught to be able to go, which speaks volumes about their relationship, but if she checks his phone, you're causing further risk of her finding out if you keep messaging him about the wedding. Stick to phone calls so there's no record. I hope he can make it and there's no drama. OOP says, I rang him the first time to tell him I was getting married and then sent him to save the date the second time, asking if he was coming. I didn't know that he hadn't told her at the time. I've no idea why the wife wouldn't let him go to his daughter's wedding, though, if she's as amazing as he says. On why his mom's boyfriend isn't invited. Far more drama if I include him and exclude Eva. It's not worth the headache. He will for sure not show up if I invite my mom's boyfriend and not his wife. My mom understands that even though my dad is not the best dad ever, I still want him there. They aren't together that long, so she's okay with her boyfriend staying at home. Plus, then he can stay with the dogs and she doesn't have to worry about getting a dog sitter. Most of the family is going as well, so there's nobody to look after them. Update October 9th, 2023. So it turns out my dad ended up telling Eva about my wedding and telling her that she was invited to the wedding to avoid problems. She got herself a dress, booked a hotel, etc. My dad tried to convince me to invite her, but his biggest selling point is that he thought it'd be an amazing time to introduce Eva to my mom and my mom's whole family. Why he would think my mom wanted to meet this woman is beyond me, and that she would feel excluded otherwise. He always rubs in our faces his new family, even calling it his new family. Keeps canceling every dinner he sets up with my sister due to some emergency involving Eva or tells us to call Eva mom. Both me and my sister are way beyond the point of calling some random a mom since we both moved out and he's being ridiculous. He called me again and again trying to convince me and I said no, explaining that I knew the only reason he wanted to bring his wife to the wedding was to upset mom and that I wasn't going to let the two of them do that. He makes jabs at my mom every time he's around her about how great his new wife is. I thought the whole thing was over until I sent him some information about the wedding, and I guess he started feeling guilty and told us that he booked the flight for Eva as well. And he booked himself on the same flight as my mom, changed his whole flight plans just so he could be on the flight with her, so that my mom and Eva could still meet, aka he could still rub his new wife in her face and try and screw with my mom's head by putting her down and making comparisons. And then Eva would just go off and shop while he was at the ceremony. I'm not sure if this was true or if he was gonna try and get her and bring her to the wedding and hope she didn't get kicked out. I'm trying to convince my mom to change her flight so he can't get inside her head 12 hours before the wedding. I don't know if I should invite him. And then relevant comments. Zoe and someone says, "OMG, yes. What has your mom done to you that you'd facilitate hurting her? Why does he know so many details of your mom's travel plans?" And OOP says, "She is the main reason I haven't uninvited him yet. She keeps saying I need to have a relationship with him and being more understanding. He knows because he asked, and we figured he was trying to avoid being on the same flight as her." Edit, wrong word. Okay. So, yeah, that's the whole thing. To make it fair, my mom's boyfriend is also not invited, although he's a sweetheart. It is sad that the situation was unfair from the start. Mom's boyfriend didn't blow up the family. Mom's boyfriend isn't canceling for BS reasons on the sister. Mom's boyfriend isn't a cad. He should have been invited so he can sit in the middle seat between mom and dad. That would be a power move by OOP, lol. OOP is trying to keep it equal, not fair. I have long believed that equal and fair are two different things and don't always coincide. Equality versus equity is a very common point. The baseball spectator image from that article is the classic example. Okay, I don't know what that is all about, so that's pretty messed up, and I'm sorry that's happening to you, OOP. Alright. I also have a bunch of Am I the Asshole posts saved, so I'm just scrolling through them to try and find some best of Redditor updates. Oh my god. Okay, here's one. Today I fucked up by putting my boss in the hospital. And this is from, wow, September 8th, 2020. That was a long time ago. I'm typing this from home as my work unexpectedly received a half day for my antics. So my boss and I have been having a little prank war. Nothing extravagant and nothing harmful, just fun little office pranks to keep spirits up. I work in corporate insurance, so most of my day is spent behind a desk, and it gets very boring at times. Well, my boss pranked me good last week with the help of an IT guy that sent an email, which the font size in the email slowly decreased, and then all of a sudden a picture of a baboon's ass popped up with a farting noise, which my boss made sure the sound was all the way up on my little desk speakers. Scared the crap out of me and made my coworkers laugh. Anyway, I'm thinking I gotta get him back. My buddy works on the same floor but has permission to come in a little earlier, as he's in management and starts his projects before my coworkers come in. I go in early with him and let him know my plan. So I brought a spider and some fishing line. The spider was a realistic looking model that I tied to the fishing line and placed above his desk on the ceiling, running the line with some cables on the ground and then behind a picture on the wall. The office ceiling is a brown-black color, so unless you really look hard, you're not going to notice the spider. I waited until after lunch to spring my trap. I walk into his office. "What's up, boss?" Blah, blah, blah. He's sitting at his desk, prime position for a spider drop down. So I go to tie my shoe and unhook the fishing line that I taped to the leg of his desk. I started lowering the spider. Eventually, the spider comes down and touches his nose. He starts freaking out and falls out of his chair, clutching his chest, gasping for air. I just kind of stood there in shock, like, shit. Anyway, paramedics come. My other manager releases us for the day, and here I am, realizing I might have just killed my boss. Too long didn't read. Prank on boss went wrong, surprised him, and he had a heart attack. Now he's in the hospital, and I don't know his condition at the moment. And then there's an update the next day, so September 9th. So I'll begin where I left off yesterday. Paramedics loaded my boss into a wheeled stretcher, or whatever they call them, and put him in the back of an ambulance to go off to the hospital. I seriously thought that he was in big trouble because the paramedics were treating him like he was having a severe heart attack. He looked like he was on the verge of dying as they loaded him up. Anyway, afterwards, my other manager, tells us all to go home. It was Labor Day, so there weren't that many people working. I go home and I'm freaking out, nervous as hell, until my manager called me and told me my boss was stable, but it was close. Come in tomorrow for work at 10 a.m. We need to have a discussion. At this point, I'm double freaking out because I'm thinking, shit, I'm going to get fired over a stupid ass spider prank. I get into work at about 9:50 and I make the dreaded trip up to my desk. At this point, everyone in the office knew I basically killed our boss, and literally everyone stopped to stare at me. I just kind of tried to keep my head down as I was thoroughly embarrassed. I got to my cubicle and my manager was already standing there. Don't put your stuff away. This will take just a moment. He takes me to my boss's office, which I thought he was going to ask what the spider on the fishing line was doing there, and then, after I answered, fire me. The door was already open, and after I walk in, my manager tells me to take a seat, and then he closes the door. After I step in, he stayed out. I sat down, pretty much sweating out of my clothes, and all of a sudden, to add insult to injury, my boss sneaks up behind me and yells, "Thought I was dead, huh?" Well, at that point, I basically shit my pants, frightened like a little girl seeing a monster in the closet. He claps me on the back, and I turn around. This fucker is wearing no shoes and was hiding behind the door to creep up behind me. At this point, I'm both relieved, terrified, and just generally shook. And he sits down and tells me how he did it. Apparently, the manager, my buddy from last post, that let me in early on Labor Day told him about my entire plan. My boss knew about the spider and pretty much planned around my move. The fucker literally let a bunch of workers have a half day to foil my prank and got his EMT buddy to make a quick stop by to treat his heart attack. I'm never pranking my boss again. On a good note, I'm not fired. Too long didn't read. Had a juicy prank for my boss. He faked a heart attack, let half the workers have a half day, scared the shit out of me by coming back to life, and now I'm never fired. And now I'm fired. I'm not fired and never pranking again. Edit. Wow, I had no idea how this was going to become popular. Thanks for all the awards and stuff, guys, and thanks for all the kind words. I hope you all have a good rest of the week. And then edit too. Hey guys, I've been getting a lot of messages about how it went down, so I'll show you a video of basically what happened. And there's like a hyperlink embedded or something. I can't post that. But anyway. And now we're gonna do something wholesome. And this story's called OOP rehabilitates an injured spider. Trigger warning, spiders missing limbs. So, if you don't like spiders, maybe skip this one. This was one of the top posts in r/spiders last year, and one of the posts that helped me start getting over my own arachnophobia, so I hope others enjoy it too. And for anyone who may want to check out r/spiders, please be aware that they have a strict rule against comments that talk about harming spiders. That's good. I actually posted pictures of Persephone there. I found this so the original post was July 31st, 2022. I found this three-legged spider and wanted to see if I could take care of it until it regenerated. Does anyone know what it is? And I'm just gonna explain the picture to you because there's an explanation here and I can't exactly post the photos. So images show a spider sitting in a clear plastic container. The spider is dark brown-gray and is missing all but 3 legs and its pedipalps, which are small appendages by the jaw. The only legs present are the second and fourth leg on the right side and the first leg on the left. The empty sockets where the missing legs should be are also visible. Notable comments. Looks like a type of fishing spider, but you can put your location for possibly more accurate identification. However, gosh dang, I wonder what the heck happened to it. Edit, just saw the location, thanks. Will reply if I find a more fitting species. And then OOP replies, "Thank you. I know I was thinking the same thing. It could have been a bad molt. I don't know what altercation could have caused it to lose 5 legs and not take body damage. It was able to catch a fruit fly I put in with it, so I'm hoping it's strong enough to make it. And then having cropped and lightened the pic, I think this is a wolf spider rather than a fishing spider based on the eye arrangement and body markings. A clear shot of the forward-facing eyes would help to be more certain, and OOP posts a photo. This is the best I could do. Not sure if that even helps at all. It's still not a clear photo. Image shows a closer head-on view of the same spider. Thanks. Yep, that's a wolf spider of some sort. Okay. I'll put a picture of a wolf spider at the end of the video. I can't post the pictures from the post, obviously, but I'll put a picture of a wolf spider just to show you guys what it looks like. Alright. Wait, spiders can regrow their limbs? And then OOP says, yes, when they molt, they are able to regrow body parts. And basically, there's an article discussing a spider which regrew six missing legs. It includes two close-up images of the injured spider and one image of the spider with the new legs. That's super cool. This is super fascinating, and I did not know about the regrowing, so thanks for that. It does feel odd to me that some people perceive it as a great deed to kill probably countless cockroaches in order to save one fatally injured spider. I know these things aren't supposed to be rational, and we empathize with what we empathize with, so I'm trying not to judge the person, but it is weird, I think. And then OOP says, I understand that point of view. I also do connect with spiders on a deeper level than my feeder insects. So it feels similar to feeding a pet carnivore like a dog or cat meat because you love it and want it to be healthy. That being said, I treat my feeder insects with respect, and I love watching my little roaches clean their antennae and drink the water I missed for them. I also breed feeder insects to be food, but this spider will be released back into the wild where it can do its important spider things. The food I'm giving it has always lived in a container in my house. That's how I justify it, but as someone that genuinely cares for all living things and would probably nurse an injured cockroach back to health, I understand where you're coming from. People who are so kind enough as to nurse an injured spider back to health give me some faith in humanity again. Give your spider friend my regards, and I hope she has a speedy recovery. And OOP replies, thank you, it's nice to see that other people care as well. Here she is in her enclosure I made, top middle on the stick. She has caught multiple fruit flies and gets around surprisingly well. Oh, that's nice. And the photo shows the same spider now in a naturalistic enclosure. It is sitting on a large wooden branch with plants visible in the background. First update, August 1st, 2022. And he named the spider Frog. Update on Frog, the three-legged wolf spider. Hey guys, I posted yesterday about a wolf spider I am taking care of. I've been calling her a female because she doesn't have bulbous pedipalps, but I think she might be young, so I'm not completely sure. I just wanted to let everyone know she is still doing wonderfully. I tried to find her some small crickets yesterday, but the pet stores in my area were out, so I've been giving her lots of fruit flies. She has recently discovered she can catch three at a time, so I believe she is making do with what I've offered her. I'll link some videos in the comments to show how well she walks around and how adorable she is. Thanks for all the love and advice. I will update you all when there is more to say, / when she molts. And then notable comments. OP says here she is moving around and eating a fruit fly. Right now she is in a small critter keeper with dirt, rocks, moss, and sticks. I have given her some looser substrate and a little hide made out of an egg carton so she can be alone. I misted the sphagnum moss yesterday, but I'm under the impression they mostly get water from their food. If anyone has any suggestions, that would be wonderful. Two videos of the same spider. The first video shows it walking on a branch and the ground of its enclosure. It appears to move around easily, although it uses a slight hopping movement. In the second video, it is shown eating a fruit fly. I'll try and find the videos like in my computer and then like attach the videos and the pictures to the end of the video because I know you guys want to see. I'm so happy you did this too. I already love her. Have you given her a name? OP. Her name is Frog because she jumps around. Second update, August 17th, 2022. And there's a bunch of pictures. Frog, the three-legged wolf spider update. Very exciting news. More in comments. Notable comments. OP, a little over 2 weeks ago, I posted this little one on here after finding her in my backyard with the hope that she would molt and grow her legs back. I have kept her in a critter keeper with soil, sticks, and moss. She's been very active in eating lots of fruit flies and the occasional small cricket, with my help. This morning I couldn't see her, so I assumed she was in her hide, but she hasn't been eating in the last few days, so I really hope she was in pre-molt. Tonight I got home from work, and she is an eight-legged spider again. She did it! I'm so happy. I'm going to let those soft legs harden a bit, and we'll let her go within the next couple days. Thanks for all the love and support on the last post. I thought you all would love to hear that it was a happy outcome. And then the third update, August 19th. Added as an edit to the above comment. Edit. I let her go today, 8:19, because I did decide that those new legs were strong enough for her to succeed. Here's her release video as requested. I only poked her because I wanted her in the bushes where she was safer, and to show off her new running skills. She totally yeets herself off the rock at the end. Thank you all so much for the love. It has really been so wonderful. We, Frog and I, love you all. Oh, that's so cute. Notable comments. Hey, arriving 3 months late, and I know nothing about spiders, but is it just me, or is there a visible difference between the new legs and the old ones? Really neat. OOP says, when a spider molts, it takes some time for their new exoskeleton to harden and dry out. The new legs were a bit smaller and a bit translucent, but darkened by the next day. They should also be back to normal the next time she molts. I let her go, but I hope she had another molt and grew them the rest of the way back. Oh my gosh. Nice to read something different than a partner who wants to have an open relationship while having a meltdown triggered by the mother-in-law from hell. Spiders are not my thing, but this was very sweet to read. Oh, yeah. I like that one. I'm gonna try and find the videos and stuff. And then someone replies, Bruh, that spider's a total narcissist. And her brood, there's like the GC egg, the SG egg, and about 70 lost children. And then someone replies, The spider was Ogtha all along. No, bad. But there was only Ogtha. And art rooms we build for Ogtha's friends. The real Ogtha were the spiders we met along the way. The real Ogtha was inside us all along. I hate and love you for this. Hat tip. And then someone else says, Nah, Ogthos was the spider's lunch. Burp. Oh my gosh, it's all about Ogtha. Okay, there's a lot of Ogtha comments. Alright, I think I gotta take a break. I gotta use the bathroom and stuff, so I'll be back soon. Hey friends, my name is Jackson and welcome back to my channel, Gender Not Found. And I'm gonna be doing a Reddit video on reading Best of Redditor updates, and there's some good stuff that I found, so we're gonna be looking at that, but I'm gonna have to break it up because I can't do all of this in one video. And if I don't post this tonight, then I'm just gonna post it tomorrow, I guess, but I'm recording this today. It's Sunday, October 15th. Oh, by the way, good news, everyone. Um, I was able to go to the bank with my mom yesterday because we hung out the whole day. We did some errands and stuff. I couldn't argue the charge on PayPal, I found out, so I went to the bank with my mom and we worked it out, and the bank says they're gonna get me my money back and report fraud and stuff, so the only thing is they gave me a different debit card, like a new debit card, and this is the second time I've had one this year because if you guys remember, a while back my account got hacked, so this is actually, it hasn't been that long since I last got a new debit card, but they gave me another new debit card, so anyway, and now I have to change my debit card on everything, which is like always a hassle, so but anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just happy to get my money back. It was like well over $100. It actually, it, I know it said it was $135 when I sent it through PayPal. I sent the guy exactly $135, but on my bank account statement, it appeared as $142.33. So I don't know. I don't know what the actual amount was, but it was a shit ton of money, and I need it to be able to survive. Like, I need that money for groceries and stuff. So I'm really glad that the bank was able to get that back for me because otherwise I was going to be in a little bit of a difficult situation. But luckily, luckily the bank was able to give me that money back. Um, so anyway, I'm really happy about that. I really wish I could stop constantly yawning, but it seems like no matter what I do, I just yawn, yawn, yawn all the time. It's annoying as hell. Anyway, I'm gonna read some Reddit stuff, and I hope you guys enjoy this. And since it's October, I'm actually planning to read a couple of like scary stories. So, I'm also my 150th video is like coming up super super soon. I think I only have like 4 videos until my 150th. Like I think right now I have 146 videos on my channel. Hang on, I can check. I can I can check right now. Okay. All I have to do is search up Yeah, I have 42 subscribers. Oh, yeah, someone else subscribed to me. Lucas, someone. I don't remember the rest of his username, but it was a bunch of videos. Yeah, okay, so right now I have 146 videos on my channel. So, yeah, I only have 4 videos until my 150th, and I'm trying to think of what to do. Like, maybe I'll do a big review, or maybe I'll do like a huge upload of a Guardian Angel. Like, I don't know, like a huge upload, like a ton of chapters. Like, more than I did when I did the 12 chapter upload. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna read some Reddit stories. Okay. Alright. I have to just. Alright, there's a lot here. Ooh, I found. Alright, here's something good. OP's vegan girlfriend wants him to get rid of his carnivore cat. Alright, let's take a look. Let's see what this is exactly. Oh, mood spoilers. OP made the right choice. Okay. I'm assuming he picked the cat. I guess we'll see. But he made the right choice, so yeah, probably the cat. My 22 male, I'm 22 male, my vegan girlfriend, 21 female, wants me to get rid of my cat. I can't believe I'm a. Holy crap. Okay, I can't believe I'm about to type this, but here we go. I've been dating my girlfriend for 7 months. She's amazing and we're super compatible in a lot of ways. She is an outspoken vegan and she made it clear at the start of our relationship that it was important to her that any potential partner had similar cruelty-free values. Me, already being a pescatarian, had little difficulty transitioning to a fully plant-based diet. Hang on. What is a pescatarian? Yeah. Okay. Oh, a person who does not eat meat but does eat fish. Okay, continue. My girlfriend was proud of me for going cruelty free and everything seemed well. We became the vegan couple on our college campus. Then there is my cat, Mittens. I've had her for 3 years and I adore her. She's such a sweet and cuddly cat. However, my girlfriend was always a little apprehensive around her, and she blamed it on not growing up around cats. After a while, sort, sort of made a tacit, tacket, tacit, TACIT agreement to mostly hang out at her apartment instead of mine, so Mittens never really came up again in conversation. Fast forward through all the quarantine stuff, my girlfriend and I have spent a lot of time together during this pandemic, and we started talking about taking our relationship to the next level. We began seriously looking at either buying a new apartment together or having one of us move in with the other. However, after a lot of talking and planning, my girlfriend sat me down and dropped a bombshell on me. She said that with this next phase of the relationship, she did not see a future with me unless I was willing to give away Mittens. She said that she believed owning a cat is unconscionable for vegans because they hunt mice and eat meat, and because the very act of owning a pet is a violation of vegan principles. Why is owning a pet against vegan principles? I was stunned. I told her that I was absolutely not willing to give up Mittens, and she had no choice but to eat meat. So I was reducing harm as much as possible by buying reputable brands of cat food. Plenty of vegans own cats and think along those same lines. Yeah, that's stupid. My girlfriend got mad and said, "How much flesh does your cat eat? How many animals died to make all that food? Would you be okay with that being human flesh?" I got mad and told my girlfriend that I would have really appreciated her telling me about her cat opinions before we got serious. She went on and on about cats killing animals. I ended the conversation there. I was so angry that I left my girlfriend's apartment and I snuggled with Mittens when I got home. Although the mood soured a bit when my girlfriend sent me a link to a Reddit thread advocating for the extinction of domestic cats. What the fuck? Sigh. Ugh. That's messed up, guys. That's messed up. Like, it's messed up enough I find it really screwed up that a lot of vegans are like, oh, my cat can just eat a vegan diet. No, cats are obligate carnivores. Your dog or your cat is an obligate carnivore, and they can't eat a vegan diet. They can't digest plants properly, and anyone who tells you that is a freaking idiot. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. I think it goes without saying that I am not going to get rid of my cat. However, it pains me to think that an otherwise wonderful relationship could be ending because of a difference in ideology. I don't even really understand where my girlfriend is coming from because, like I said, a lot of vegans own cats. Now, granted, cat ownership can be a controversial topic in vegan circles, and I probably would not have gotten a cat if I had been vegan at the time, but I have Mittens now, and she deserves to eat. Yes, I researched vegan cat food, but Mittens has some digestive issues, and my vet strongly cautions against it. I've talked to some of my vegan and vegetarian friends, and they all think my girlfriend has lost her mind. Some have suggested that it's not about Mittens, and my girlfriend just wants an excuse to end it. Maybe. They probably don't understand why I haven't broken up yet, but I care about my girlfriend so much. I'd hate for this bizarre curveball to be the end of a beautiful thing. I want to try and work something out. Where do I even go from here? I will not compromise on Mittens, and I don't think my girlfriend will compromise either. Edit. Wow, this completely blew up while I was asleep. I'm trying to read every comment, but there are a lot. Also, please allow me to take this moment to reiterate that my girlfriend's views are not representative of those held by the wider vegan community. Yeah, there are definitely good vegans out there. top com and some of the top comments say, as a fellow vegan, no, this isn't even cool. If she truly cared about animals, she wouldn't ask you to rehome your cat. It has a loving home. Her way of thinking is ass backwards. If someone told me I'm not a real vegan because I have a dog, I would laugh my ass off and tell them they can have their stupid label, the dog stays. He's family, just like I'm sure your cat is your family. Another top comment. She suggested to give it away? It makes no sense whatsoever. Will it consume less meat with another owner? Of course not. It's like boasting about your lack of garbage because you dump it all in your neighbor's yard. Ah, sorry. Another top comment. I wonder if this really isn't about veganism, but more for finding ways in an intimate relationship to express control over her partner. The fact that she doesn't possess the skills to be flexible, compromising, or negotiate with a partner is a big red flag to me. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking too. Like, a lot of people will just do this as like controlling behavior, like just to see if they can, push you, just to see how far you'll go to prove that you love them or whatever. Like, my dad did so many controlling behaviors to my mom and then also me and my sister. Like, there was a lot of shit happening. Anyway, so there's like a whole thing out there of partners. Yeah. And like I have meat eating animals too. I have my tarantulas and they eat like insects. Like I feed them insects. Like I just bought feeders yesterday for my little guys. Um, well, actually for all four of them, but I got the two little guys are new, so I got some food for them, and then I got some food for curly fry and jalapeno also. And my millipedes and snails, they're fine with like they eat mostly fruits and vegetables, but they also need like a little bit of protein every now and then. So usually once a week, I have like these little frozen bloodworms that come in cubes. So I'll take it out, I'll like put it in a little bit of warm water, and then they'll thaw out, and then I'll add some bloodworms to the food for the snails and the millipedes so that, they're okay, so that they can be okay. Because they do require a protein source. And yeah, you can also buy like cat food, dog food, fish food, but most of the protein sources that they require are going to be like, dead insects or whatever anyway. But the the people at the reptile store where I went to buy like protein stuffs, they recommended the frozen bloodworms, so that's what I got for them. And I also just bought some dead mealworms. It's called a can of mealworms, so like I have it, and it actually smells pretty bad when I open it, but I put the lid back on and it's fine. But yeah, it smells bad, and I just dumped a couple of mealworms into Voldemort's enclosure, so hopefully he smells that and then he'll eat it, because they need food. And I don't really trust myself to give something like to give. I don't want to give live animals to Voldemort. He's really tiny and like I want this one to survive. So anyway, but I did buy live mealworms for Persephone. They were just tiny and they were a little bit smaller than her. Alright, let's read the update. Too long didn't read. My girlfriend is a passionate vegan and wants me to get rid of my beloved cat because cats eat meat and kill mice. Yeah, which she doesn't have any choice in that. Like, cats are obligate carnivores, like I said. Anyway, first of all, let me say thank you to everyone who offered advice. There were over 7,000 comments on my original post, and I have dozens of PMs. Frankly, I'm still pretty overwhelmed with the magnitude of the response. I did my best to read most everyone's comments, but obviously I couldn't get to everything. I would also like to preempt this post by saying, as many users pointed out, that my girlfriend's extreme views on domestic cats are not representative of the vegan/vegetarian community as a whole. I do think that sometimes new vegans can be a little overzealous. In reality, most of us are just doing the best that we can not to hurt animals. I did not expect to generate a big debate in the comments, so we broke up, obviously. I would never ever give up my cat mittens. Many users said that the situation was about control, not veganism, and looking back, I do see a pattern of control on my girlfriend's part. I was blind to it, I guess. I called my girlfriend and said I was not willing to give up mittens under any circumstances, and given the most recent issues we'd had and our incompatible views, I thought it was best that we parted ways. I said she deserved a partner that shared her values. She then asked if we were breaking up, and I said yes. There was some anger on her end, but otherwise the situation actually went better than I expected. So yeah, that's really it. Oh, and several users did ask to see a picture of Mittens. I have one uploaded to Imgur. Hang on. I'm gonna... If I can, I will save the photo and put it in the end of this post. Okay, yes. Let's just Mittens. There. Thanks again for everyone who offered advice. It really helped. One of the top comments says, "Good for you, the cat is being a cat. The cat cannot choose and must eat meat to survive. If you treat the cat well, there is nothing wrong with being vegan and owning a cat." What's her suggestion? We kill off cats? That's not vegan. Top comment. Another top comment. You chose the right pussy, sir. Okay, that's funny. That's really funny. I like that one. But yeah, the vegan teacher actually made a video, like, that suggests that if we can't transition cats to a vegan diet, that we should just kill all the cats in the world. But yeah, this is pretty much, this is not a good argument as far as being vegan. The cat has to eat meat. They can't just change their diet. Like, us humans, we're omnivores, so we get to choose. I mean, I choose to eat meat. Personally, I think you can be an animal lover and still eat meat. Like, I don't care what other vegans say. If vegans want to hate on me because I choose to eat meat, fine, whatever. But like, okay, let's just read the comments. I would love to know more details about other controlling behavior his ex was showing. I imagine there were warning signs that he didn't notice prior to the argument about Mittens. He definitely made the right choice. Her demands would only have gotten more extreme if he did choose her. And then someone replied, "I mean, I'm going to take him at face value when he says he was fine going vegan, but I wouldn't be surprised if she was also controlling about it and he didn't notice because it didn't bother him." Yeah, my eyebrows raised a bit when it sounded like she might have forced him to transition to being vegan. Like, it's one thing if you and a partner have different eating habits and one decides they like the other partner's diet more and it aligns more with their beliefs. But somehow I wouldn't be surprised if this was under pressure considering how she viewed an animal made to eat and process meat. Exactly. Like, and I'm just gonna mention again that cats are obligate carnivores, so yeah, you can't exactly just and OP's right, like, what is the problem? Like, what's gonna happen? She's just, does does the girlfriend think that Mittens is gonna move on to another family where she won't eat meat and she'll just be fine, like on a vegan diet or whatever? Like, it already bothers me so much that some vegans just feed their cats and dogs like a carnivore or a vegan diet when they're obligate carnivores and they need to eat meat to survive because, like, they can't digest plant matter or whatever. So, oh, Persephone's moving. Oh. In case you guys hadn't seen, I had some really cute pictures of Persephone in the community posts, so you can see what she looks like. And Voldemort's been buried in the dirt for the last few days, so he hasn't been out. I did post like one or two pictures of him when he was hiding in the flower pot, but ever since then he decided to be in the dirt, and he's just been in the dirt for a while. So I got both of them on Wednesday, and I got the Bihomori Persephone was $125, and she was more expensive because she was identified as a girl, and the girls live a lot longer. If I had gotten the male, it would have just been $95, but I decided I really wanted a female. It was really important to me, and since they had the very small tarantulas, but was already identified as a female, I decided to just get that. And also, like, I had the money there. It was just, I just took it out of my snake fund. That's all I did. That's all I had to do. And anyway, so, I'm still gonna be able to get the snake. Like, with my birthday money and my Christmas money and, me putting aside $150 a month. And then also, I get extra money like every 3 months. So, the next time I'm getting it is gonna be, it's October now, so November, December, January. Yeah, the next time's gonna be in January, and then February, March, April, and then again in April. So I'll be putting an extra like $200 away both those times. So that's already an extra $400. And so I shouldn't have any issue saving up for my snake and making sure that I'm able to have the money that I need on time and being able to do that. But yeah, I went ahead and got Persephone, and then since I spent a certain amount of money, there was a few freebies to choose from, and one of them was the T Vagans, which is he's like a half inch, so he's bigger than Artemis, but he's still pretty small. And he's really cute, and I love him anyway. So I named him Voldemort, and he's a Mexican red rump. I don't know if he's a boy or a girl. They can't be identified that young. And by the way, I found out. I got curious how they could identify the spiders when they were that small because Persephone is very, very small. Turns out they have like a special microscope that they can use for that. So, anyway, I really like that. But like the T Vagans is one of the cheapest tarantulas in the entire hobby, and they're often given away as freebies usually. So also, I don't know if I had gone to Tarantula Canada's booth and like bought a spider there, if they could. I still might do this. I still might go to their booth if they have a booth at the expo in February, but I don't know if they also give away freebies at the booth, like if you buy a tarantula at the booth, if you can just like get a freebie. I don't know if that's just an online thing or whatever, but I don't know. Maybe I'll end up getting another T-Vagans if I, buy a tarantula there. But yeah, the T-Vag Voldemort was a little freebie guy. So the common name for him is a Mexican red rump, and he's really adorable. And his colors aren't in yet, but um, his front is going to be like dark blue, and then his abdomen is going to be red because that's why he's called the Mexican red rump. All right, let's see. Okay. Oh, here we go. All right, let's read another story. I'm really curious. Okay. Am I the asshole for refusing my sister's offer to pay for the gender reveal scan? And you guys have to remember that this is not the OOP, this is a repost. Like all of these stories are reposts from other people. Like, so anytime someone posts it, it's not the original poster posting it. Like, it's someone reposting from the original poster. Like, it says here, I am not OOP. The OOP is another username. And I don't share the usernames on here because some of these people might not want to be identified. Trigger warnings, emotional manipulation, verbal abuse, and hostility. Okay. So the original post was October 1st, 2023. Wow, this is super recent. It's the 15th today. So yeah, this was exactly 2 weeks ago. So my girlfriend female 26, and I, male 29, found out in August that we were going to be parents to our first child. Generally, everyone was very happy about the news. However, because of the shock I felt at the time, it wasn't planned. I called my mother for reassurance, and it helped. She wasn't happy I told her over a phone call, which I understand and am likely an asshole for. I apologized and we put it behind us. My sister has been supportive, and she helped us move to a new house, wanted to take my partner out baby shopping in a few weeks. However, my mother was less helpful. We had a FaceTime mid-August about housing options. Then my mother randomly asked me about if my partner was on the pill. I said yes, and I've seen her take it, and she asked if I was sure, almost like she was insinuating that I was baby trapped. I just want to say that it is possible to get pregnant when you're on birth control. Even if you're on birth control, there's like a non-zero chance that you're gonna get pregnant anyways. Like, it's unlikely. Like, it's very unlikely. I think with most birth controls, there was like a 97% chance you won't get pregnant, but that still leaves a 3% chance that you will. And, I haven't talked about the kids in a long time, but that's actually how Shadow and Marceline got pregnant. Like, they got pregnant when they were both using birth control. Marceline was on the pill at the time, and Shadow was using a condom, but they got pregnant anyway, and they ended up having a kid. So, yeah, they were actually on birth control, but they wanted a kid, and now they're doing IFV, or IVF, in vitro fertilization. Yeah. Anyway, but I just wanted to say it is possible to get pregnant when you're on birth control. So it doesn't mean just because you're on birth control, even if you use like two different kinds of birth control or more than one kind of birth control, you could still get pregnant. The possibility is very small, but it's there. I've had worries about my sister. I'm happy she's excited, but I feel sometimes she's too much. She was talking about having the baby every weekend so we could do stuff as a couple, and I said we have to consider both families. Okay. Hmm. She was also concerned about us moving a bit closer to my girlfriend's family than mine. She said I wouldn't get as much support and questioned the support from my partners as her mother lives 2 hours away. Ugh. I said she comes down every weekend to look after her mother with dementia. We'll be fine. My sister offered to pay for our gender reveal scan. We both thought that this was a lovely gesture and said yes. My sister understandably wanted to come because she's paying for it. My sister told me that the one she was booking allowed up to 5 people to come and suggested we bring my mom along. I then said if she's coming, then my girlfriend's mom should come too. She disagreed because it's the only involvement they'll have during the pregnancy, and my girlfriend's family will be at other events. We said it's not about who we're including, it's about having support during a personal appointment, and my girlfriend doesn't want only all my family there. My mom previously said either it's just my family or no scan. I said fine, we'll pay for it ourselves. My sister then messaged my girlfriend to explain her reasoning, which left her in tears. She also said my family likes to do things separate and they're a bit antisocial. They think meeting my girlfriend's mom at the scan will be awkward. We think this kind of reasoning is selfish and not putting our wishes first. My mom and sister are getting me to understand their reasoning. I do understand it, I just don't agree with it. My girlfriend's mom isn't bothered by them not wanting her there, she's just more by how it's affected us. She told me not to worry about them and hug me. She said she's happy to pay for it and for me to invite whoever I want. This is a post here just because despite many agreements about our side of things, I have doubt because my sister was going to pay for it, and I was considering my dad, but my girlfriend's mom believes that would anger my family. Am I the asshole? Edit to elaborate on a few things. The phone call with my mom, it wasn't an initial reaction of how dare I tell her on the phone. She was happy. She said congrats. Based on if we were deciding to keep it at the time. It was only found out she wasn't too happy when we recorded my sister's reaction, and at this event I told my mother that she was driving to my dad's to see him the next day. My mom doesn't think my dad does enough for me. We see each other rarely in person, like maybe once or twice a year, but we get on fine. It was his first time being a grandfather and my mother's fourth time. My sister has 3 kids already. She's desperate for a fourth of her own, but my brother-in-law keeps telling her no. My mom, when I suggested this, my mom, when I mentioned this, suggested just FaceTiming him, but I said no. And then she said, so he gets a live surprise and I get a phone call. I told her I needed initial support, and so she found out this way. People have asked what's the situation with my dad. Him and my mom have been divorced for 24 years. He wasn't the kindest to my mother at the time, and I had a stepmother who kept driving a wedge between my dad and I, who has been out of the picture for a few years now. I've told him about the situation, and he thinks they're being ridiculous. Okay. I get people telling me I need a backbone, and yeah, it's something I've worked harder in therapy to get over. To provide a little backstory, I was an impressionable kid who was suspected of autism at a young age. My mom refused to take me to get assessed because she felt at the time that I should learn alongside the other neurotypical kids. That's, like, as an autistic person, I just want to say that's awful. That's messed up. Like, no, she should be with, people with autism, people who will accept her and understand. As an autistic person who didn't get diagnosed until I was practically an adult, I got diagnosed at age 17. I was basically an adult. I was practically an adult at this point. So I just want to say that that's shitty parenting. And that's shitty parenting, and you shouldn't have them learn alongside the other neurotypical kids. You should have them like with people who understand them and what they're going through and stuff, so that they can have a life for themselves. Trying to put on my sweater at the same time. Anyway, so that they can have like what they need for themselves to help them out, and stuff like that, and people who understand them, and teachers who understand them, and everything. And like being an autistic kid at a neurotypical school with the other neurotypical kids was horrible, and I got bullied all the time, and people didn't understand anything about me, and I didn't understand anything about me because I didn't understand why I was doing this stuff. All I knew was I liked doing it. Like, I didn't even understand. I mean, I knew I don't want to say I was doing anything wrong because I wasn't doing anything wrong. I don't know. Anyway, but it just sucks, and that's not the way you should do it. You should get your kid assessed, and you should get them the help that they need. And I have to say, the last couple years of my schooling, after I left New Path, I had one more year of school left, and I was actually taking the bus to and from school, and I was in like a special program with the other kids or whatever, and it was actually really nice and like a lot better than just, yeah, it was a lot better. It was exactly what I needed, and I wish I'd gotten that attention when I was a kid. I wish I'd gotten what I needed when I was a kid. This obviously didn't work because I constantly questioned myself, and with the aid of people like my sister reminding me of little mistakes I made, it continued to knock my confidence back. It was only until a breakup, which happened when I was 23, and a downward spiral of depression, did I get more help. Doctors said I didn't have autism but more anxiety. Mom and sister insist I do because they think I'll get more support. Oof. That's gross. That's gross. Ugh. This just rubs me, this entire section rubs me the wrong way as an autistic person. You can't just force a diagnosis on someone. But linking it with stuff in this post, it feels like grooming. Probably. I I don't know. And I have pushed back on several occasions to just let me be. I'd get comments about how something I did was an autistic thing, which I said stop to. My sister has two kids diagnosed with autism and one kid with ADHD, and she works for an autism charity. I went on Prozac after being diagnosed with anxiety and depression. I don't take Prozac, but I actually take like a cocktail of medication for my depression, and there's other like I take some supplements for like other issues, like I have IBS, and fiber supplements work really well in like evening out my bowel movements, I guess. I was also with an ex at a different time and saw subtle controlling methods through that, and we didn't work out afterwards. That was something my family helped me through, but I'm getting that narcissistic people can often not get along with other narcissistic people because they'll try and expose the other person to make themselves look better. So my growing up was conflicted because on the one hand, there was nitpicking, and on the other, care that seemed genuine. My mom has also suffered abusive relationships and grieved through the death of a partner, so I pin weird behavior on that. Same with my sister who had a stillbirth. There's a comment somewhere in here which explains a lot of stuff which explains a list of stuff my sister did a few years ago, which stopped her going to my mom and stepdad's wedding. Oof. And now I'm with a beautiful human being to start a family with. And while it's a shame my family couldn't be cooperative and understanding, she and our baby come first, and we need each other first and foremost. No one is dictating to us about who cares for them or anything else. I called my mom out for what she said about the baby trap. She apologized to me, but not to my partner, who overheard the conversation. Ever since, she's been distant. Writing this now, I'm wondering to myself why I'm even letting her come to the scan if my partner's mom comes after her behavior. My mom backpedals a lot, says something that would annoy or upset someone, and then says it was a joke. I have since told her there was backpedaling, but she's denied it. My mom's weird views on separating from my partner's family stems from her own anxiety, I believe. We believe she's on the spectrum, but she's in denial about it. We've seen moments of her having some sensory overload moments, being obsessed with specific topics, mostly conspiracy theories, lack of a filter at times, and struggle to see things from others' point of view. My sister, I believe, wants to be seen as the best guardian, very possibly parents, and sees her family as a threat. Yeah, I'm gonna say not the asshole. And I gotta admit, there's some stuff that I didn't completely understand in this post, but not the asshole. Oh, and the verdict was not the asshole. Okay. Alright, hang on. Relevant comments from OOP. Someone said, not the asshole, any help or gifts with strings attached, don't do it, never ever. NLP replied, yeah, it's been a similar case since I was younger. When my sister asked me for a favor I wouldn't feel comfortable with, or didn't drop everything to do, she'd say, but I do everything for you. These days I'm seeing the manipulation take a bit of a different form. Okay. And then someone else responded, not the asshole. And then someone else commented, not the asshole, your mom chews you out for calling her with the baby news. I was already scratching my head at that, and you seem to accept that makes you an asshole. With crap like that permeating your life, it's no wonder you're on here for the rest of this. Your mom and sister sound like real pieces of work, I'm sorry to say. Your mom goes on to insinuate you were baby trapped, and then her and your sister go on to say only your side of the family should be in on a gender scan. It doesn't matter who's paying for it. Everything regarding your life is for you to decide who's included. Your girlfriend's mom sounds like truly a gem, by the way. Yeah, that's messed up. OP and then OP says, I accept that I need to set better boundaries for myself. I was always brought up believing I was being unreasonable, and it's only in the last few years I've been able to break away more. So you're right, I shouldn't question how I told my mother about the baby. I confided in her, and if my child did that with me, I'd appreciate them trusting me with being the first one to go to for advice. Now this behavior is affecting someone I love deeply, and I'm not allowing it to happen anymore. Oh, sorry. Okay. Update October 3rd, 2023. Hi all, quick update, but a fair bit has happened in the last 24 hours and it isn't good. First of all, thank you to everyone for your advice. I took it on board, especially the stuff about setting our boundaries now and not taking any more manipulation. There was some people questioning the need for a reveal scan. We just thought it would be nice for our first child. I understand that's not for everyone's liking, but that's what we want to do. It's your kid. You should be able to do what you want, as long as you're not, like, abusing the child or whatever, which you're not. Anyway, my sister called me on Sunday. I explained that my girlfriend should be allowed to have whoever she wants there. She reiterated the awkwardness of it at the scan, so I suggested a coffee meetup, which she said she'd chat to my mom about. My mom turned it down and said it was too formal. In her words, I'm sure we'll meet them someday. She suggested we have two separate scans for each of the family. I turned this down because I thought it was gross. Yeah. My girlfriend is not a test subject for other people's enjoyment. Then I said we'll book our own and invite who we want or have it just us. She then turned passive aggressive and said, fine, you do what you want. I've been nothing but supportive and my girlfriend is gonna want her family there for everything. I said this isn't true. She said she wants both families involved. Knowing that they continue to try and make offers for the scan, I sent them a long message to both of them in a group chat. I've added the screenshots on the Insane Siblings subreddit, which you can see on my profile. As you can see in the reply from my sister, she attempted to gaslight me into feeling bad. After she said we part ways, I blocked her on everything. I'm not having that kind of influence in my life, and certainly not subjecting my girlfriend to it, especially if they're not going to respect her boundaries. My mom called me a short time after and told me my message was condescending, cold, and formal, and didn't understand why I was overreacting about the scan. Told me to not interrupt. Even a message I sent to her, which was among the same lines as the one in the screenshot. I told her it's not just about the scan, it's about her over involvement in general. Clearly, my sister left details out because she didn't want about my sister. She didn't know about my sister wanting to look after the baby every weekend and being insecure about the support from my girlfriend's family. She said we should all meet up to chat. I'm not having them bully me, though. If I'm there to chat, I'm having someone in my corner. She said she didn't want us arguing, but I said the ball is in my sister's court. My mom is attempting to play peacekeeper and has sided with my girlfriend's erratic behavior, so neither of them I really trust. As for the scan, my girlfriend and I have booked our own scan, and we're having a reveal party next weekend where everyone is welcome. Although right now I'm not inviting my mom and sister. I've explained the situation to my dad, and he's disgusted at them. My sister and I have different dads. Okay. Edit. Sorry, I forgot to add, you're right, that I should not have apologized to my mom for how I broke the news to her. She often comments on how my dad doesn't come down to see me, and it's mostly me going up there. My dad and I do talk, and when I go up there, he often wants to pay for everything, no questions asked. I don't take this for granted, of course. I get rounds of beer in, too, or chip in for the takeaway. Either way, I'm happy with the relationship my dad and I have. We've had issues in the past, but we move forward. Also, we uploaded a screenshotted text message reply from my sister to my profile, since it keeps getting taken down on the sub for spam. Although Reddit kept blanking the images, so I've added an image link in them. Additional information, editor's note. OOP has uploaded a link on his page to a text message conversation with his mother and sister. I've transcribed the message here. Okay. OOP. Hi both, just wanted to update you on the scan. We booked one ourselves, and who goes depends on who Redacted wants to come. This isn't something Redacted has said, this is something I've told Redacted as she's the one carrying the baby, and she wants support from both families, but arguments about something we should be in charge of have made it difficult. It's our time and our family we're starting. We should be the ones making decisions. Trying to convince us to change our minds after we turn down the extra conditions without any compromise over meeting beforehand hasn't been appreciated. It's overstepping if I'm honest. We haven't talked much, Mum, but from what's been discussed, I assume you both share the same viewpoint. Any future events such as the shower events will be one event for each where close friends and family can come. You're still welcome to come, including the reveal we have after the scan next weekend. We're not doing two separate events for each family. Not only is it more money, but more time spent setting up multiple events and attending them, and I see no reason why either family has to be excluded from events that and I are involved the family. What? Redacted and I are creating. Redacted, you may not spend time with Redacted family, but that's for different reasons. You don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. I get on fine with Redacted's family. I may fall out with one or two people, who knows. And Mom gets on fine with Redacted family. Other members of the family have no issue being in their company. This is more of a personal issue than it is an unwritten rule. And if you don't want to go to these events because Redacted family might be there, then don't. Shame to not see you there, but these events are for a child, not to appease anyone else. You don't have to talk to her family, just be there for us and respect what we want to do. These issues of shutting out her family is creating concern for what happens when the baby arrives. You've said before about how we'll get better support from my family than hers. It's not a contest of who can provide the best support. The best support the child can get is from us, the parents. I'm not deciding which family is the best. I respect and love each person individually. And Redacted will like support from our family too. It feels like unfair judgment is being placed on them without actually knowing them. And Redacted, please do not text about this stuff or ring Redacted to talk to me about this. This is creating stress that she doesn't need being pregnant, and that isn't good for the baby. She was in tears when she read your message, as we just want this pregnancy to go smoothly. If we are being told what we should be doing in regards to our own baby, then that's not influence we want to have. We appreciate support, but we don't want over involvement in this. This is what we want and what makes us happy. Please respect that. OOP's sister. Eh. OOP's sister. Well, redacted, what a stab in the gut. I can't breathe with how much I'm crying. So cold. You've interpreted so many things incorrectly, but there you go. I hope everything works out for you. I will always love you, but I think this is where we part ways. XX. Update number 2, October 7th, 2023. Since my last update, both my mom and sister have contacted me via text. I borrowed $50 from my sister to help fix my car. My girlfriend and I spent a lot of time moving and my tire blew. Good timing. I said I'd pay her back on payday, which was Thursday. Her text asked me for the money back and also said, I sent that money and I have kids to feed. Basically trying to make me out to be a thief. I suspected it was to try and get a reaction out of me, but I silently paid her back the money and left it at that. I want my distance from her, but I'm not a thief. Then she texted my girlfriend, even though on my long message I added on intro to both of them. I explicitly told them not to message her in regards to this stuff. The message said she hopes the scan went well. She thinks it was this weekend for some reason, even though she was originally going to book it for the 15th, and we have it booked for the 15th. She also told her not to be upset about any of this and wants us both to be happy. I suspect that she's fishing for information, and it's clear she cares more about the baby than our own relationship. My girlfriend hasn't responded. My nan texted me earlier in the week because of the issues with Reddit uploading my images. I'll post the contents of the chat here. I hardly ever involve myself, but I love you all and want to put it right. Before your sister knew all the people in school, I went to every meeting with her. She feels socially shy meeting new people, so like, Mom, I was her comfort blanket. I've now stepped back. Please mend this rift. I think she realizes that you need space. She's breaking her heart. Hold out your hand. Her intentions were good, you made your point, but she adores you and thinks a lot of my girlfriend. My love to you both, always. Please mend this rift for me, XXXXX. I left it a day, but I replied back that it's not my mental rift. I didn't want any breakups in the family, but I want my space. They've hurt me and controlled me too many times, and I'm not putting up with it anymore. My nan replied saying she understands and won't take sides. My mom messaged me yesterday saying she hopes I'm okay, and also thinking the scan was this weekend, saying she's away so won't be able to make it. She wanted to come, but is now away, lol. She wanted to catch up in the week and talk. Nothing more than that, but it doesn't look like either of them have any remorse for the way they behaved. Alright, and just a reminder, this is a repost sub, I'm not OP, okay? If OP ever finds a way to deal with his family, I could use some help because that is exactly what my family does to me. Probably not the answer you want, but brutal honesty. Yeah, the type that is more cruel than truthful. Adopting a saying it like it is. Adopt a saying it like it is stance is what got some relatives out off of my back. They count of peer pressure and our fear of being a burden to not ask for help. I started switching things on them till not a single soul was buying their crap anymore. My grandma is in her 90s, and once she passes, I'm sure a lot of people from my paternal side I'll never bother dealing with again. Yeah, for example, if a parent pulls the I'm sorry I was such a terrible parent BS, you say yes, they were. Sometimes if you want people who constantly hit low to stop, you have to hit lower and be completely matter of fact and 100% honest about it. If you really want to have fun, just politely reply, "It's good that you know. Now you can make better choices. I had great parents, but I pulled this out on an acquaintance who faux apologized for being a terrible friend who's always blah blah blah. I can't remember, but I think she expected everyone to tell her she's fine. Not me, lol. Acknowledgement is the first step to being better, has been my go-to when my mother pulls this kind of thing. Thanks for that, lol. Actually, I was thinking sometimes it's less brutal honesty and more just something that someone who did not spend their formative years around that person or people like them would say. Eh, the fuck? Alright. My mom was making a snide comment on my parenting. It's completely different from hers, and how it must be because she psychologically wounded me by her methods. My dad immediately snorted and said, "Yeah, you sure did that." It actually made her think. When she was younger, he would be terrified to make comments like that. She would flip out. She really would. God help her if you tell her the truth, lol. But these days, she's trying to be better, so she's at a place where he can make that kind of comment without consequences now. I'm actually kind of impressed. But it goes to show, don't let their bullshit go unchanged. It actually might help them. Alright, I think we're gonna move on to our third story, and oh my god, it's 8 o'clock. Alright. Yes. Okay. Here's one. Alright, I found something good. My parents want me to delay deposing. My parents want me to delay proposing to my girlfriend, and they are both mad I said no to that. Okay. My parents want me to delay proposing to my girlfriend, and they are both mad that I said no to that. Trigger warnings, emotional manipulation, and controlling behavior. Okay. And the original post is October 1st, 2023. Wow. Lots of stuff that was posted this month. Just staring at my beautiful tarantula. I'm going to propose to my girlfriend on Friday. I mentioned it to my dad and stepmother because they invited me and her over for dinner Friday night, and I reminded them that it is our anniversary and said I was going to propose. Their reaction threw me off because they were both happy for me, but they also asked me to delay my proposal. They said it's because of one of my sisters. They said she's hopeful about getting engaged soon, and I should wait until after that before I propose. My mom and stepfather also feel the same way. That sister is in a relationship. However, they have been together for 9.5 years. They have a son and daughter. They own a condo and a business together, but they aren't married. My sister's partner says he is fine without being married, and he feels he doesn't need a piece of paper for their relationship to be real. He's been clear he doesn't want marriage. My sister, on the other hand, really wants to be married and to have a wedding. I don't think I should have to wait. Firstly, I don't believe a proposal is imminent like my dad and mom said. Secondly, I don't think I should have to put my life on hold just for my sister's life, and I don't think her being upset about me getting married when she isn't is on me. My sister has more money than I do. She has a loving partner and beautiful, healthy kids. If she is upset about me getting engaged, she needs to look at herself. I told my dad and my mom I'm not putting anything on hold, and I don't care if news of my engagement will upset my sister. They didn't take it well, even if they reiterated how happy they are that I'm proposing. They want me to reconsider. I have bolded one part of my original post, and I am also editing to add another sentence. Since him and my sister started living together, all three of his own siblings, and my brother and older sister have gotten married, so me proposing won't make him want to propose too. Relevant comments from OOP. Someone says, I'm just curious, is the sister older than you? Are you the youngest? OP says, yes, she is the oldest. The birth order is her, my brother, me, and my other sister. My brother and other sister are both married in 2017 and 2019. Someone else says, your stepfather doesn't give a rat's ass. This is all your mom doing crazy mom worrying. Propose and forget about it. Your sister will be happy for you. OP, no, my stepfather, as well as my dad and stepmother, who found out first, all had the same reaction as my mom. All four of them reacted strongly. It was just my mom. Your sister will be happy for you. No, she won't be. Okay, well, that's on her, isn't it? Updates. October 8th, 2023. Yay! I proposed to my girlfriend on Friday and she said yes. Oh, yay! We decided we don't want a big, expensive wedding. I've asked her if she's sure because if she wants her family there, we can have a wedding and I'll just make sure anyone from my family who causes problems stays away. She says no one in her family will mind. We decided to go on a cruise on the Rhine River. Rhine. Rhine. Okay. It goes from the Netherlands to Switzerland. Cool. We are going at the end of November and we'll get married sometime during the cruise, most likely on November 23rd. Ooh, that's so cool. As I knew would happen, my sister is upset. Well, that's not your fault. That's on her. My dad's stepmother, mom, and stepfather are upset I did not listen, even though they also say they are happy for me. I am ignoring my sister's behavior and just focusing on enjoying this time in my life. Good. You should. Just Forget about them. If your sister's pissed because you proposed to your girlfriend, that's not that's nothing. Like if your sister is upset because you proposed to your girlfriend, then that's on her. You've done nothing wrong. I also would like to address some things. My sister's boyfriend has always been clear that he doesn't want marriage. My sister has known from the beginning. Since the two of them moved in together 7 years ago, my brother and my other sister have gotten married, and so have all three of his siblings. Me getting engaged would not make him want to propose too. My parents my parents asked both my brother and my other sister to delay getting engaged when it was their time as well. My sister isn't the favorite like that, so I don't understand my parents. Also, even if he was about to propose to my sister, I don't see why it means I couldn't also propose to my girlfriend. I proposed to her privately, so I don't understand why my sister's boyfriend proposing would matter at all to my plans. Exactly. Exactly. That's my point. And if she's upset, then that's kind of on her, isn't it? Okay. My sister's boyfriend has always been clear that he doesn't want marriage. My sister has known from the beginning. My parents asked both my brother and my other sister to delay getting engaged when it was their time as well. The boyfriend won't ever propose, so OOP's parents planning to just put the kibosh on everyone's engagements? What was the end game here? My guess is that the last of her siblings getting engaged slash married just emphasizes that her partner really isn't going to propose to her. She needs to get therapy to work out a healthy way of dealing with her disappointment, or propose, or separate. Exactly. There you go. It's her. I mean, if she wants to be with someone who doesn't want marriage and isn't going to propose to her, then that's like fine or whatever. It's her life. But that doesn't mean she gets to be pissed off when her siblings get engaged and then your parents get to say, oh, well, you can't propose because your older sister hasn't gotten proposed to yet and you have to wait until her boyfriend proposes to her. That's not fair. It might just be a play to save themselves from embarrassment. I think that was meant to say ploy. Oh, all your other children are married, but your oldest still isn't? Wow. So, yes, they're asking OOP to put his entire life on hold to save either themselves from embarrassment or their sister from embarrassment. It's a bit late, to be honest. What next? Grandchildren before she jumps out of a wedding cake, holding a ring to propose to the never fiance? Yeah, this whole thing is just silly. Like, she can do what she wants, but like she can't just ask but like the mom and dad can't ask their siblings to put their lives on hold just because oh the sister hasn't been proposed to yet, so now I don't want you to propose to them. Anyway, so this next one actually isn't from I chose this one because it's really fucked up, or at least the title was really fucked up. Anyway, it's not from Best of Redditor Updates. It's actually from r/marriage. Partner secretly removed IUD without informing me. And if you don't know what an IUD is, it's like a birth control that goes inside. So, this should be messed up. Okay, so OP is a male of 36 years with a career, and his wife is a stay at home mother of 33 years. We have been together for a year and we both wish to have kids, but I've always been explicit about not wanting her to get pregnant before the next year, 2023 onwards, due to very high workload and while my new house is getting built and the plan to move to the new house by the end of the year. I can't take on more responsibilities right now. She always agreed. She already has two kids from a previous marriage, and I have a good relationship with both and treat them like they are my own. We live separately, but I visit regularly on weekends and sometimes during the week due to distances to work and long working hours. Okay. What happened? We had a disagreement. Sorry. Okay. What happened? We had a disagreement, and after 2 days of little and brief contact, she informed me she was disappointed and decided to break up with me. It made absolutely no sense at all. I offered to discuss the matter. She rebuffed and wanted to separate from each other and demanded me to take my stuff. I called my friend to ask him to pick up my stuff since I refused to see her anymore. She refused him visitation to collect my stuff and called me to take my stuff personally. I refused but asked her not to throw away my work equipment. The next 2 weeks, she started contacting me and pleading me to repair the relationship. When I refused to so easily agree to repair everything, she had accused me of being with her solely for sexual gratification and of ruining her reputation in front of the world. About six after a breakup. It just says about 6 after a breakup. 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 days, I don't know. I finally relented and visited her to speak with me, but told her to not expect sex from me anymore. After a week or so, I could finally forgive her and agreed to fully bury the past. I asked her if she had her IUD removed during our breakup time, and she said no. Fast forward 2 months, she told me she had a surprise for me. I immediately asked her if she removed her IUD. She said yes, and she had done so since about 3 months ago. I asked her why she kept the information to herself without at least informing me. We had sex earlier that morning and she was expected to be ovulating, and I came in at her request when I wanted to withdraw because she said she liked it more when I came inside her. I don't mind having kids, but not now, not without my prohibitive workload. I feel like I can't trust her again. What's the best course of action for me from here? I let her know I'm disappointed about her not informing me of her IUD removal. She has accused me of lying. I asked her to promise to never keep such important information from me. She says she doesn't, when she clearly has done so in the past and present, so what do I do now? Edit, I fixed spelling mistakes and added clarification. Note to reader, autocorrect seems to enforce the use of capital letters for certain words. Update. Thanks for the advice, guys. What surprises me is all the advices are unanimous in terms of there being the red flags. Since we had sex last Sunday, I will ask her to take a morning after pill as a trust building step, and if we go see a counselor, as I want more elaborate details from her. If she refuses one of the two, I would feel obliged to direct just okay, DRSSTICLY. I have no idea what word that's going to be. Feel obliged to something reduce my involvement in her life so we can more easily end this. If she agrees with both steps, I might still decide to stay with her until the next problem arises. I hate to end a relationship, and as long as I believe she can learn and grow, I need to believe we can make it work. But this is probably the naivety in me. Yeah, I have to say it doesn't look good for you, and there's definitely red flags. It's really messed up. And I don't think that this is good for you. And even if she does that stuff, I don't think I would go forward with this relationship. I mean, I guess that's up to you. If you want to move forward with that relationship, then you know, that's your choice. I'm just saying I wouldn't do it, and I wouldn't recommend you to do it either. Because everything that she's been doing to you is really messed up, from taking out her birth control, from insisting that you do what you need to do inside of her, to breaking up with you randomly. Alright. Do you want to stay in a marriage with someone who arbitrarily decides to break up with you, then wants to go back to the way things were, then unilaterally makes decisions that would affect you both for the rest of your lives? Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking, but you said it more elegantly than I did. I asked myself this question the first time she broke up with me without explanation, and I find myself asking this same question again, and I hate the course it sets me upon, but I also hate the alternative. Yeah, I know. It's pretty screwed up, right? Long-term relationships like marriage are supposed to be a partnership. You should be discussing and deciding things together. That doesn't mean what you have for lunch won't work, of course, but buying a new vehicle, whether or not to have kids, where to live, these things have to be decided on together. If you have someone who doesn't want to work in a partnership, you aren't looking at a very happy outcome. Exactly. I would just leave the relationship and not contact that person anymore, but whatever, it's up to you if whatever you want to do. Anyway, um, so, alright, we're gonna read one more. We're gonna read one more, and then, okay. Wow. Fun fact to cover up spoilers, since this has to do with milk, a milk fun fact. Apparently, in ancient Russia, frogs were put in milk buckets to keep the milk from going sour, and it actually works. Interesting. Okay, so the title is I Am Breaking Up with My Boyfriend Over Milk. Trigger warning, abuse, blackmail, violence, attempted kidnapping. This is the last story I'm gonna read, so if you guys don't want to hear this stuff, you can just leave right now. I won't hold it against you at all. Mood spoiler. I'm not going to read that. Okay. I live with my boyfriend and we have had. Okay. Oh, the original post was March 19th, 2023. So, like half a year ago, nearly. I live with my boyfriend and we've had conflicts now for over 5 months because of milk. Approximately 6 months ago, I found out I'm lactose intolerant, and it has made me change all my diet to avoid stomach ache and nausea, in which is working pretty well. Okay, yeah. I'm also lactose intolerant. I fucking hate being it's bad. I hate it, but like um yeah. I'm also lactose intolerant and I hate it, but I have these like little lactate pills that I take if I'm gonna eat like cheese containing lactose. But also at my local grocery store, very shortly after, like only a few months after I found out I was lactose intolerant, they started selling lactose free cheese. It's not like vegan cheese, it's not vegan cheese. It's not like made out of tofu or something, but it's lactose free cheese. So the it doesn't have any lactose in it, so I can eat it without getting sick. But if I don't take one of my lactose pills, I end up getting really sick on the toilet, so I have to take my lactose pills. Anyway, I do not expect my boyfriend to change his diet to a a costume a costume? ACOSTUME. Oh, editor's note, probably accommodate me. So we've been buying our own groceries to not impact one another. In my country, plant-based milk and lactose-free products are much more expensive, but since I love my cheese and milk, I buy it anyway. The problem is that when the problem is that my partner eats it all when I'm not home and then doesn't replace it by buying more. I don't mind sharing food, but it's very disrespectful of him to not leave some for me. He knows lactose is something my stomach can't handle, but he still eats and drinks my products when I'm not around. It made us fight a lot of the time, and it's been going on for 5 months until now. This morning, seeing less than 100 milliliters of my almond milk made me go absolutely crazy, due to the fact I was more than 10 hours awake after my shift in the hospital and just wanted a latte. Oof, 10 hours. 10 hours. She said it was 10 hours awake, but I'm not sure if that's like working nonstop for 10 hours or if she's just been awake for 10 hours but only working for like 7 or 8 hours. He keeps saying it's not a big deal, but the fact that he chooses to consume my stuff and refuses to admit his mistakes makes it unbearable. How my boyfriend treats me is absolutely outrageous, and it made me see that he doesn't treat me as an equal due to how many disrespect I've been enduring. I can't take it anymore. Okay, so I just want to say I had a similar problem with my when I was living with my sister. She eats my food and drinks my juice. She would eat my food and drink my juice, and she probably ate like she over the years that all three of us were living together, like me, my sister, and my mom, and then those like 6 months that I was living with her, she probably consumed like $400 to $500 of juice and food of mine. Like I was living on mainly fast food, like takeaway, like McDonald's or pizza or whatever, and junk food that I could keep in my room, which was the one place where she never went. But like, if I put something in the fridge, there was like a 50 to 60, there was like a 50 to 70% chance that she was gonna eat it or drink it. And freezer food too. She ate all that. So like, no matter how many times I asked her to stop, and yeah, I hate her for that. I hate that she did that. She's an asshole for that, and it really pissed me off. Edit, I bought a plane ticket to return to my parents' home. My boyfriend, soon to be ex, thinks we are okay since I've been quiet after he yelled at me, saying I was overreacting. I've sent a message to my boss and she said it is fine for me to work online. Edit 2, I was thinking about writing a letter to my boyfriend since this was my first relationship, and then she does write a letter. So the letter says, Dear boyfriend, I am leaving a 5-year relationship in which was full of red, whom I couldn't see due to my rose tinted glasses. My favorite nickname that you gave me was Doll, but now it makes me want to puke. The naive old me thought it was because you loved my dark hair and my love for pink. But now looking back, maybe it was because how dumb I looked, just to please you by obeying every single word like a spell. I know deep in my heart you will blame me for the breakup, or it may be the milk. None of these were the issue, you are the problem. Every time you disrespected me by consuming my almond milk was like someone slowly plucking petals because every single act of disregard made my love for you die. Honestly, this fate couldn't be prevented. We know where we are in each other's hearts. The only mistake you was making you the priority when I clearly wasn't. Thank you for being my first, but unfortunately you won't be my last. Goodbye. But no, fortunately. Unfortunately for him, but fortunately for her, and she definitely did the right thing. I have to plug in my laptop. Hang on a sec. I have low battery. So I'm gonna plug this in and then I'll continue. Okay. Come on. There we go. Okay. Oh, gotta scroll down a little. Alright. Whoa. Okay. Update. Same post. March 22nd, 2023, 3 days later. Update. Yesterday was a bit chaotic, so I didn't have the chance to log on to edit. While my ex was at college, me and my 4 friends packed everything I bought over the years. The only thing I'd left behind was our engagement ring, photos, and the house keys. I left the heavy and big stuff at my friend's house and will be shipping it to my parents' home, God bless her. I arrived during the night at my home city and my phone wasn't even on, so for several hours, peace was there for me. No more screaming, no more disrespect, and no more stolen milk. Okay. When I finally turned on my phone, there was more than 74 calls from him. The messages were between begging me to come home and talk it out, or threatening to expose my nudes, tell everyone about my ADHD, find me and make me regret it. I'm quite afraid of it, so I showed my parents these texts. We are planning to spend several days at our beach home in another state until it is safe and got a police report. And get a police report. I don't know what will happen after I file a report since in our country Brazil, the police is a failure. Okay. Okay. Update post 2. March 28th, 1993, 9 days from original post. Hi, it's me again, and I'm going to give you all some bad news. In my last update, I told you all about traveling to my beach house in Bahia. Bahia? And it saved my life. Here is awesome. I miss being sun-kissed and having so much fun at the beach. As I mentioned before, traveling to my family's beach house was what kept my life going since my ex-boyfriend wanted to fulfill his promises of bringing me home at whatever cost. Before leaving, I told the building administration that my ex is not allowed to enter the condominium since he's a threat. This morning, my parents received a call from the doorman saying they called the police because my ex-boyfriend showed up and tried to find me. He was able to enter since I forgot to delete his Face ID, but fortunately this monster was stopped at the reception. At first he tried to talk to the staff saying it was all a misunderstanding and we're back together, but they asked for proof and this idiot couldn't even provide for it. He became very violent and tried to attack the staff, so they called the police. When they started searching him in his bag, it was found a pair of knives, gloves, and plastic bags. Now he's in the preventive detention. Preventive detention, whatever that means. I'm still shaken up at the possibility of me being murdered by him, so this will be my final update since we will be suing him. The fact that it was all caused by milk is really shocking, because it made me see that the man I almost married was a murderer. Holy crap, that I almost married was a monster. Okay, wow. Thank you all for the support and advice. I don't know why, but my comments aren't showing up. But I want to say I'm really grateful for everything. Edit, to those who are harassing me in my DMs demanding proof, I only have one thing to say. I don't care what you think. For the sake of my privacy, there won't be any information about the condo, the CCTV footage, nothing. This is confidential information. I am a victim. Stop harassing me for proof. I think the only way for you all to believe is if I have been really murdered and have my face on the news. Please stop and leave me alone. OOP's comment. I will try to make some updates. I think this will be my personal journey of healing. Edit. OOP commented on this post. Hi, I am the OP and thank you for posting about my story. Hopefully it will be a warning to other girls. I can't update about the legal stuff here, but now I'm really well. My mind still tells me about what would have happened if we really married him. Our wedding was scheduled in the beginning of 2024, and how dangerous it would have been to me. Ladies, stay safe and please seek help if needed. I know it's hard, but your life is more important than a man. Wow. That's messed up, bro. I can't believe it went from I can't believe it went from my boyfriend keeps drinking my almond milk to my boyfriend tried to murder me. Like, he legit tried to murder me. Oh my god. Okay, Ugh, I'm so glad Owo Piano family were at the right place at the right time. That ex was going to force her to reconcile or ensure no one else could have her. Hope he isn't released for a long time. Trigger warning, graphic violence. He will be. Brazil doesn't really care about men like him. There was a famous Brazilian player, Bruno Fernandes de Souza. He killed his mistress because she wanted child support for their baby. He butchered her and fed her pieces to her dogs. What? Edit. He did end up going to prison for close to a decade. When he left jail, he still had a legion of fans, many of which waited outside of the jail to take pictures with him. He did a commercial for a dog kennel, and he has his job as a football player once again. I think it's supposed to say football, but it says FUTEBOL, football. What the actual fuck? Yeah, that's what I want to know. What the actual fuck? If you'd like to say that again, read the Wikipedia page on him and his quote about the murder. What happened happened. I made a mistake, a serious one. But mistakes happen in life. I'm not a bad guy. People tried to bury my dreams because of one mistake, but I asked God for forgiveness, so I'm carrying on with my career, dude. What the fuck? This guy has zero remorse. Okay, that's the fucking quote. Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's messed up. Alright, I think that's gonna be it for today because that is, intense. Like, really intense. I have other stories here, but I feel like I need to just not. I'm gonna take a break right now, and I'm gonna also eat something because it's late and I'm hungry, so yeah. Alright, well, I've been recording for a little over an hour, so this is gonna make a good video. Alright, well, I just want to say I love each and every one of you guys. Please don't forget to always be yourself. You are valid. Please don't forget to be good to yourself and others, and I will see all you guys in the next video. Bye.